In this video, how a CKD stage 4 patient got her creatinine back to normal with a forbidden herbal remedy. Catherine here, I'm a doctor of natural medicine, and in today's video we're going to look at remedies that your doctor has no clue about. And my first entry, this one's wild. It's a remedy so peculiar, it will send your doctor running faster than if they saw the IRS knocking at their door. I'm telling you this as someone who has dedicated most of their life to studying natural remedies for kidney health. Even I didn't know about this one until I started researching for this video. So yeah, this isn't just a remedy that helps you pee out more creatinine, it will also make you piss off your doctor. Two birds with one stone. But jokes aside, this is going to be an exciting ride because today I'm sharing 10 incredible remedies with amazing diuretic and detoxifying properties. Ready to start flushing out more creatinine than ever? Let's kick it off with number 10, nettle seed extract. What is nettle seed extract? Question, have you ever heard of this remedy? Maybe you're familiar with the kidney boosting properties of stinging nettle leaves and root. Both are great diuretics, with nettle leaves being a popular go-to remedy for kidney health. But nettle seed, it's a game changer. While it has a mild diuretic effect, its real superpower lies elsewhere. Nettle seed lowers creatinine levels. How does it work, you ask?
Now you know.
That's the million-dollar question, and honestly, we don't know yet. Research is still uncovering the science behind how nettle seed works, but what's clear is that it's making a difference. Some studies suggest that it may have troporestorative properties, meaning that it has a healing and restorative effect on a specific organ or tissue. Yeah, I told you this was interesting. In fact, in this case report, 2 patients with advanced kidney disease were treated with nettle seed and both had a huge improvement in kidney function, which is incredible, especially because both patients were in a tough situation to begin with. We have an oncology patient who received a radical right nephrectomy. They had to remove one of his kidney, and he improved with nettle seed. Think about it, losing a kidney and still coming out ahead after all this is like showing up late to a marathon but somehow winning the race anyway. The other patient in this study is a woman suffering from lupus and kidney transplant rejection. And incredibly enough, she went from a creatinine of 2 to a creatinine of 1.2. So, from stage 4 to normal kidney function. Incredible! Now guys, this study also outlines how the main issue this patient was facing, transplant rejection, was treated with medications, not with herbal remedies, which also means that, as usual, you should do your own research and be 100% sure that this remedy will be safe for you before even thinking about taking nettle seed extract, alright? Don't take any risk. I mean, what I usually tell you is to talk with your doctor about supplements, but I don't think in this case this will work. And maybe it could be better to wait for more research about this remedy before trying it. Okay, up next, number 9 in our quest to get rid of excess fluid and creatinine naturally is dandelion greens. The dandelion, scientific name Taraxacum officinale, is something that grows in most parts of the world as a lone weed. Now guys, while nettle seeds are powerful yet little known, the dandelion plant has been used as a medicine for a long time. All the parts of the plant are used as remedies. In particular, the leaf and roots are especially popular today as a way to detox and protect the kidneys. I mean, you can even buy dandelion leaf and root tea on Amazon. And the way this kind of tea works is by slightly reducing blood pressure and by increasing urination frequency. Yes, this herb can help in a safe and gentle way, stimulating the body, getting rid of excess fluid. And if you don't like buying these from Amazon, you can also use dandelion leaves to make a salad. Now, what's more, the dandelion part is also known to help with diabetes. In fact, most of the tips of today's video are going to help with diabetes. The reason? Well, the way the body removes excess sugar is by flushing it out in the urine. So yeah, it's not just excess creatinine we are going to get rid of today. Now, if you want to try dandelion tea, keep in mind that while it does remove some potassium as well as excess sodium, it also contains some potassium, alright? So if your potassium's sky high, maybe don't go full dandelion salad chef just yet. Don't worry, plenty of alternatives in today's video. But why is removing excess fluid important, you ask? So, you know the feeling when your shoes fit perfectly in the morning, but by evening your toes are basically screaming, "You bought us into this shoe, now get us out." It's like stuffing an air mattress back into the box it came in. Well, if you think your feet only are uncomfortable, think again. In fact, if your feet are protesting working conditions, your kidneys are already unionizing. Yeah, this is also known as volume-dependent hypertension, which is a fancy term for saying you need a water pill if you don't want your kidneys to go on strike. Or even better, a few dietary and lifestyle choices that can really make a difference with fluid retention and hypertension. So, number 8, let's talk about foods now. Here are 3 that your kidneys will thank you for and your feet might too. First, ginger. Ginger is not just one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory foods out there. Ginger is also amazing at reducing water retention. Yes, it's a diuretic powerhouse. Want to spice up your life? Literally, use ginger as a spice. Eat it raw or brew it into a tea. Bonus points if you use that tea to wash down the stress of dealing with insurance claims. Also consider asparagus. This superfood is one of the best friends of your kidneys. This little green stick of joy is a diuretic powerhouse and research backs it up. This veggie doesn't just help with fluid retention. It's got a secret weapon, an amino acid called asparagine. Asparagine tackles swelling like a bouncer kicking out rowdy's guests from your body's water party. Fun fact, that weird smell in your pee after eating asparagus, that's just the asparagine doing its job. Next up, celery. Yep, celery, the veggie equivalent of the friend who gets invited to parties just because they're low maintenance. Sure, it's mostly water, but guess what? It's supercharged water. Thanks to a compound called phthalates, celery fights hypertension like a champ and acts as a natural vasodilator. Plus, munching on celery is basically guilt-free. Okay, up next, number 7, let's talk about diuretic supplements. And no, I'm not talking about those sketchy herbal pills, those kidney detoxes you find on Amazon, because the last thing you need is a bottle of mystery herbs that claims to fix your kidneys and then all it does is making your lab reports look like a Jackson Pollock painting. Yeah, this stuff only has one superpower: turning your blood work into a puzzle no doctor can solve. No, we're looking at the good stuff. Essential vitamins and minerals, starting with a certain vitamin that will make the diuretics your doctor prescribe work better. Number 7 is vitamin B1, also known as thiamine. Why is this important? Because a deficiency in B1 can leave you with fluid retention, which is just ironic since your diuretics, the very things meant to help you, might be causing that deficiency in the first place. So yeah, your diuretics could be indirectly sabotaging you. So make sure you're not running low on B1. And guys, vitamin B1 is especially important for people with diabetes. And why, you may ask? Well, because this vitamin in a high dose was studied as a treatment for proteinuria caused by diabetes. In this trial, patients were administered 300 milligrams a day of vitamin B1. This is 300 times the RDI for this vitamin, by the way. And their proteinuria improved dramatically. Now, I don't want you to experiment on yourself with vitamin megadoses, but also make sure you are not deficient in vitamin B1. Next on the list, number 6, vitamin C, the detox king of vitamins. Not only does it boost your immune system, but it also helps your body flush out excess fluids. And vitamin C is also incredibly important because it acts as an antioxidant, which means it directly protects the kidneys. It's also one of the few effective remedies for uric acid and gout. Now, keeping the dose low when it comes to vitamin C is even more important than for vitamin B1. In fact, many supplement brands will happily sell you vitamin C supplements with 1000 milligrams or more vitamin C per single pill. I mean, what's next? Kidney stones in a capsule? Yeah, because nothing says I love my body like turning your kidneys into a rock quarry. Keep that C in check, guys, because remember, oxalate is a byproduct of vitamin C, alright? So when it comes to supplementing vitamin C, 60 to 100 milligrams a day of ascorbic acid is what you want. The idea here is to avoid a deficiency, not to overload your kidneys with oxalate. And of course, there are essential minerals that can also cause fluid retention if they are too low. One is very unexpected. Our number 5 for today is potassium. Yes, potassium, the scariest mineral of them all. So think about potassium like that quiet neighbor who either bakes you fresh bread or slashes your car tires. It all depends on how you treat them. Fact, while hyperkalemia or too much potassium is the most common issue for CKD patients, potassium deficiency or hypokalemia is just as dangerous. This is a deficiency that can lead to fluid retention. Question, why would a CKD patient be worried about low potassium levels? Well, because they may be caused by taking loop diuretics. You know, stuff as Lasix, Bumex, Edequine, and more. These diuretics are meant to make you expel potassium. But there is also the chance that, especially if in combination with a low potassium diet, they will lower your potassium too much. Now, while I never recommend supplementing potassium, make sure you are always monitoring this level. To remember this, think of potassium like your in-laws, alright? Better to keep track of them, know their whereabouts, but don't invite them to move in permanently without serious planning. In fact, having potassium levels in the right range means you can have all those high potassium fruit and vegetables such as bananas, potatoes, avocados, and mangoes whenever you want. Because who wants a life without mashed potatoes or that perfect avocado toast? That's not just a diet. That's a cruel and unusual punishment. Okay guys, we have seen vitamins, we have seen minerals. What's even more powerful in fighting fluid retention is our number 4, a combination of a vitamin with a mineral. I'm talking about vitamin B6 and magnesium. Now, magnesium and vitamin B6 have a special relationship. Not only does B6 make you absorb magnesium better, they both also have a synergistic effect to help with high blood pressure and fluid retention. B6 in particular is key for hemoglobin formation, metabolism, brain function, and it also regulates fluid balance in the body. Studies found evidence that increasing B6 intake may directly help reduce water retention. Studies also link low levels of this nutrient to inflammation. One more reason to make sure you are getting enough vitamin B6. But maybe the most important piece of the puzzle when it comes to fighting fluid retention is magnesium. This mineral is involved in more than 300 enzymatic reactions that keep your body and renal system functioning properly. Recently, magnesium made the headlines because low levels of this mineral were linked to a faster decline in kidney function and earlier death. Unfortunately, in people with CKD, very often this mineral is too low. And if you're low on magnesium, not only will your kidneys start checking out early, but you're also inviting hypertension, thyroid problems, phosphorus imbalances, and a faster progression to kidney failure. However, it's also important to mention that magnesium may also accumulate, a bit like potassium. Magnesium is not nearly as dangerous as potassium, but if you want to supplement magnesium and you are in stage 4 or 5, make sure you are doing tests for serum magnesium levels. So think of magnesium like a distant cousin at a family reunion. Welcome, but in small doses, and definitely not someone you offer the spare bedroom to without a second thought. Okay, up next, the top 3 of this video is all about lifestyle choices. Yeah, nothing says I love my kidneys like the right lifestyle choices, or as I like to call it, my I'm an adult who reads ingredient labels now phase. So number 3, when it comes to pee out more toxins, is avoid hidden salt. Look guys, I won't even tell you that you need to limit sodium intake. Yeah, we've heard it a million times, like that old song on repeat. If we had a nickel for every limit your salt lecture, we'd all retire to a private island with 0 fast food restaurants. And everyone also knows that excess salt intake can cause you to retain a huge amount of extra fluid, up to 1.5 liters of water according to studies, and this could have a really negative impact on your blood pressure and on your kidneys. Keep in mind, this is not just extra fluid your heart needs to push around and your kidneys to filter. It's also going to make your blood pressure go up, causing kidney damage. And I understand that you probably already know this, but did you know that 80% of the salt people consume every day comes from packaged, processed, store-bought, and restaurant foods? Yeah, the food industry is basically playing hide and seek with your blood pressure, and spoiler alert, you're losing. You see, sometimes it looks like the food industry is like the healthcare industry's evil twin. And if you're sitting there wondering why every industry seems like it was designed by a comic book villain, don't. Please just don't. Think about it. We'll just spike your blood pressure even more. Anyway, just remember that avoiding the salt shaker is not enough to avoid the risk of excessive sodium consumption. But what does that mean in practice? Well, first of all, that you want to make sure you are cooking your meal from scratch. I mean, it's a lot easier to avoid hidden sodium if no one is hiding sodium in your meals. Second, that you need to double check the labels of everything you buy for sodium content. Don't think even for a second that if something doesn't taste salty, it doesn't contain sodium. In fact, sugar can be added to mask saltiness in packaged foods with tons of sodium. Yeah, it's an old trick. I mean, I was almost going to tell you to try adding some sugar next time you put too much salt in your pasta by mistake, but that delightful sweet and salty combo will basically be a ticket on the train to hypertensionville, so don't. And also, when it comes to sodium, be very careful with bread. Bread is a processed food many people cannot avoid, so make sure you are double checking the label for sodium content. In short, in order to avoid hidden sodium, prioritize fresh, whole foods and carefully read the labels of what you buy at the grocery store. So, up next, something else that can cause fluid retention in your diet is excessive consumption of high-carb foods, especially ultra-processed ones. You know, stuff such as pasta, bread, pizza, sugary drinks, morning cereals, they are all linked to fluid retention. How, you ask? Have you ever noticed that when you go on a weight loss diet, you lose weight rapidly in the first few days? Maybe 5 or 10 pounds seem to disappear almost instantly. This isn't body fat. It's mostly water weight. The reason is that your body begins to use its glycogen stores for energy, alright? And with every gram of glycogen used, about 3 grams of water are released. So yeah, we can easily get rid of a lot of water by reducing consumption of extra processed foods. And this is great because that stuff really isn't healthy. But please keep in mind that for CKD patients, getting at least 60 to 70% of calories from carbs, especially from fruit and vegetables, is essential, alright? So don't go removing any of that from your diet. In fact, in order to decrease water tied to glycogen, you just need to avoid foods that cause glucose spikes, such as sugary drinks, processed grains, and snacks. Instead, eat whole fruits, vegetables, and fiber-rich plant-based foods. See, you don't need to harm your kidneys in order not to harm your kidneys. Speaking of which, our number 1 is even more important if your goal is avoiding both glucose spikes and water retention. My number 1 is follow the right renal diet. So let's cut to the chase. There is no improving with CKD without following the right renal diet. Why? Because the renal diet is more than just a list of do's and don'ts. It's a carefully designed plan that addresses all the unique challenges of kidney disease, managing fluid retention, avoiding harmful glucose spikes, reducing inflammation, and ensuring your kidneys aren't overworked. Here's the thing. Individually, many of the tips we've discussed today can help you. Ginger, asparagus, magnesium, avoiding hidden sodium, all great advice. But the real magic happens when everything works together. That's the power of a renal diet. And guys, if you want more tips to improve your diet, my video up here is for you. A vitamin that keeps patients out of dialysis for 20 years. And also a way to cheat your diet and still be alright. And the truth about YouTube censorship. Catherine here, I'm a doctor of natural medicine, and today I will answer all your questions because, as always, I received lots of interesting questions from you guys and I can't wait to answer them. So let's not waste another second and start with the answers. Starting with a question from one Natalie Ann. She asks, question, my mom's been rocking a stable kidney function at GFR 25 for like 20 years now. I think it's thanks to her hardcore vegan diet and the family doctor as well. She also takes vitamin D every day. Do you think I should give her sodium bicarbonate as well? No, absolutely don't do anything her doctor doesn't approve of. I mean, a GFR stable in stage 4 for 20 years, that's a miracle. Her doctor must be really good. I'm guessing her doctor is a nephrologist. Please let me know. I'm really curious. Keep doing what her doctor says. Don't change anything. And it's really interesting that you mentioned a vegan diet and vitamin D. But please don't experiment with sodium bicarbonate here. Just double check that her serum bicarbonate is in range, and I bet it is. Otherwise, keeping a stable kidney function for 20 years is not gonna be possible. Okay, another question about vitamin D. This one is from Sarah KK2AG. What is the dosage of vitamin D and vitamin K? Please say the dosage and when to take. Thank you for the question, Sarah. So first of all, the dosage for vitamin K is super easy, 0 milligrams a day. That's right, 0, zilk, nada. If you need help remembering this number, just think of it as the exact same amount of care your health insurance provider gives about your well-being, 0. And while we're on the topic, let's talk about vitamin K2 because that's what you probably meant. The dosage here is 100 micrograms taken in the morning with some fats. Why fats, you ask? Because fat-soluble vitamins, K2, D, E, love fats the way health insurers love premiums. They are inseparable. Really? So, vitamin K and K2 are easy. Now, for vitamin D, things are more complicated because while I could tell you that a good maintenance dose is 1000 IU of vitamin D3, again, in the morning with fats, that would only work for people with high enough vitamin D levels to begin with. If your levels are too low, and this is very common in CKD patients, you will need more vitamin D than that. But how much, you ask? Well, for someone with a mild deficiency, 50,000 IU weekly or 6,000 IU daily for 8 to 12 weeks of vitamin D3 may be recommended. But please never take a dose like this without consulting your doctor and monitoring your serum levels. If you have CKD, you will need to monitor your serum vitamin D at least once a year, and your doctor should prescribe the correct vitamin D3 for you. Okay, up next, a question about avoiding excess acid in blood. AI Sahib 3768 asks, is there anything besides sodium bicarbonate to raise pH? Is water sold at 9.5 pH genuine? And how much to use? So what else can you do besides taking sodium bicarbonate to improve your acid-alkaline balance and avoid metabolic acidosis? Well, first of all, there is the low-protein plant-based diet. Keep in mind that everything you eat can be acid-forming or alkaline-forming. Meat, fish, and dairy are some of the most acid-forming foods, and that's bad. On the other hand, vegetables, green, leafy vegetables in particular, are the most alkaline forming foods, and yes, the renal diet really helps, but in some cases is still not enough, and there is the need for sodium bicarbonate. Now, what about water sold as 9.5 pH smart water and all that stuff? Well, let's just say that the only thing smart about smart water is the marketing team that's pocketing your money. Seriously, 9.5 pH water doesn't work. Save your money. Better yet, spend it on lab tests to monitor your CO2 levels or serum bicarbonate levels because those actually matter. Up next, another question about sodium bicarbonate. This one from Yami Olubodun 854. Can someone with heart disease still take sodium bicarbonate supplements? Someone I know tried it and his heart started palpitating. We were scared he would have a heart attack. Oh, that's scary. Well, fortunately, it's not common at all to get heart palpitations from sodium bicarbonate. However, sodium bicarbonate is not a supplement to take without consulting a doctor. Think of sodium bicarbonate like a toddler with a Sharpie. It needs supervision. First of all, because not everyone needs it. Second, because your dose needs to be calculated by your doctor and your serum bicarbonate needs to be monitored. Now, if you want to know why someone will get palpitations from sodium bicarbonate, my best guess will be a mega dose, a dose that wasn't appropriate. You see, a common dose of sodium bicarbonate is a single 650 milligrams tablet taken 3 times a day. That's about 1/8 of a level teaspoon. Tiny, right? And of course, in order to get heart palpitations from sodium bicarbonate, you need to really take a lot of it and to be sensitive to sodium and probably to have a pre-existing electrolyte imbalance and heart disease. Actually, while there are certain risks with sodium bicarbonate, it's not that dangerous. I mean, it's not epinephrine. I see it more as the proverbial straw that broke the camel back in this situation. Okay, up next, a very interesting question about the renal diet from Rafael P. Nogueira. Are there times that I can get out from the healthy diet? And if the answer is yes, which is the frequency? Once in a year, once in a month, or in 6? The eternal question. Can I cheat on my diet? Well, Rafael, let me break it down for you. Each Christmas, CKD patients worldwide collectively consume enough salt to de-ice all of Scandinavia twice. That's 18,000 billion grams of sodium. And don't get me started on the sugar, because every December the planet inhales so much desert it could glaze the entire surface of the moon with frosting. So, can you get out of your healthy diet? Sure, if you want to personally contribute to these impressive statistics. But here's the catch. Every indulgence brings you one step closer to making headlines of your own. Something like local CKD patient tries to out-eat Santa, ends up with record-breaking stomachache. Is it worth it? Okay. Jokes aside, asking a doctor how many cheat meals you can have is like asking your car mechanic how far you can drive your car without any oil in it. What do I have to tell you until you start seeing smoke and flames? And of course, I get it, being strict with the diet during the holidays is a lot easier said than done. I don't recommend it, but I won't judge you if you eat a little dessert. Just don't aim for the moon, alright? Okay, up next, another question about sodium. This one is from Monica Pulu, 2352. If sodium levels in the blood sometimes tend to drop, is it even dangerous? So what is the correct thing to do? Decreasing the consumption of salt in the kitchen is good for keeping blood pressure values low, but the sodium value then drops. What is best to do? Okay, thank you, Monica. This is a very interesting question. So let's say you read your lab reports and your sodium is too low. Is adding more salt to your diet going to help? First of all, no, you shouldn't raid your fridge and demolish a pile of French fries drenched in soy sauce. That's never a solution. That's only going to make things worse. Let me explain. When someone with advanced stage CKD has too low sodium or chloride in their lab reports, well, this is a red flag for fluid overload. In fact, having too low sodium does not mean you are not eating enough salt, but that your kidneys are removing less fluids than they should. What we are looking at in this case is excess water diluting sodium concentration in the blood. And do you know what happens when there is too much fluid in the body? Anyone knows that? That's right. You start to look like that Michelin man, just with more hypertension. Yeah, that's why adding even more sodium is a bad idea here. More sodium will mean even more fluids going around in the body, causing blood pressure to raise even more. So this is why it's so important to monitor these levels in your lab reports, sodium and chloride. If they are too low, your doctor might want to look into your daily fluid intake or into a diuretic to restore balance. Okay, up next, a question from up next, a question from Aquila Surve, 7568. Catherine, are you giving consultations in India? Okay, that's an easy question. Yes, I do. I offer remote one-on-one consultations and I can absolutely see patients from India. Actually, I can see patients from anywhere in the world. If you are interested, you can send me an email to catherine@newhopeforkidneypatients.com, and there is also a link you can follow down in the description. And guys, if you are interested in following an approach with a proven track record, this is a great time to start. Up next, a question about teas. Oh, I love teas. This is from Vilma Reyes, 7645. She asks, how about combination of hibiscus and chamomile? This was in my video about some of the best teas for kidney health, and yes, absolutely, you can combine hibiscus and chamomile. They're both great and they can be used together because they protect the kidneys in two different ways. In fact, while they're both sources of antioxidants, hibiscus tea acts as a mild diuretic, promoting increased urine production, great to protect from high blood pressure. But the way chamomile tea protects the kidneys is thanks to its calming properties, which can help reduce stress and promote overall well-being. Never underestimate this benefit. Stress management is very important for protecting the kidneys. So yeah, I think chamomile tea and hibiscus tea can be a great combination. Okay guys, let's go from teas, my favorite topic ever, to my least favorite topic ever. Censorship. Here's a question, a user called Lilolai asking my video about Luigi Mangione and the healthcare scandal. Who's censoring the words assassin, pass away, and Catherine or YouTube? Don't let the glass generation bully you away from the right terminology. Emotional weaklings who can't handle language should get professional help. Okay, thank you, Lilolai, for the question. So first of all, I'm pretty sure no one in my audience qualifies as an emotional weakling. I mean, if you can handle a disease as terrifying as CKD and you're still here laughing at my jokes about fluid retention, well, you're probably tougher than protein bar that's been sitting in the back of a dialysis center vending machine for 5 years. Now, the reason I myself censor certain words isn't because of delicate sensibilities. It's because of bots. That's right, YouTube uses bots to flag and hide content they don't like. Yeah, that happened to me in the past. It happened a lot. So yeah, I'm self-censoring some words with the hope of preventing the whole video from being censored. Because, of course, if my content goes against their own political agenda, I don't want to give them a reason to hide it from YouTube. And these words you mentioned are the typical excuse they use to hide videos from YouTube. Because if you think YouTube is happy about people talking freely about Luigi, well, think again. Their censorship is so blatant, it even made the news. I mean, someone is even removing trace in the news about this censorship. Yeah, guys, I was able to spot this live. Look at this magic trick. Now you see it, now you don't. It's gone without a trace, while I was trying to access it. No more Luigi.
Mamma mia!
And that's why we can't complain about censorship. I mean, literally. Yeah, guys, who here is old enough to remember when 1984 was just a book? And guys, if you have other questions for me, ask them down in the comment section and I will try to answer as many as possible. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless.